Hello, all you beautiful, highly evolved souls. I am Davina Shemaya, and today I want to share with you. Really, just want to tell you that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Um, and I just want to share what I was going through this morning. I was in this, I don't know, kind of abandonment, feelings of shame and fear and hopelessness. And and it was just this, I get this feeling just like it's just gloom and doom. What sort of started getting me to come out of it, I really sat with my inner child, and I was able to ground my body, and um and then I was just talking to my inner child as if, I was really a separate parent talking to a child, and really talking to her like she was there, and it's kind of imagining a scene where, where she was, in the house with my parents, and I had intervened and came in and said, hello, I'm your loving parent, and you know and just, told her that I loved her just the way she was. um I love you, and I'm here for you, and I'm never going to leave you. And it just started like really calming myself. It's the first time I've really had that kind of real separation, because a lot of the times when I'm in a flashback, it just sort of takes over me. And but I was really able to find that more space between, like, okay, I imagine myself as the parent talking to this child who was in this deep emotional pain, and what I would say to them, and just giving her empathy, like, it must be really, really hard. I know it's really, really hard right now, and I'm here for you, and I'm going to get you through this. And, just hang on. And I thanked her, and like, thank you. Um, and, um, and then after I came out of that, I was, I started like just shaming my parents, and it really like switched something, because I was like, shame can be so insidious. And I think I was feeling ashamed. Like, I think often in the abandonment, um, it's like we unconsciously think that it's actually our fault, that we are the ones that are deserving of that abuse. So it's really good. Like I just said, shame on you, Mona, and shame on you, Dawn. Like, how could you talk like that to, to a child who's suffering an emotional pain? Like, um, when I would be in, emotional pain, my mom would like either just completely dismiss it, or shame, or deny my feelings. My father used to like just fear monger me, or insult me. And then I wonder why why I'm, struggling today. And it's really important to understand that, I repeated to myself, I'm struggling today because I have C-PTSD, because my parents abused me, not because I am a failure, or I'm not resilient or strong enough. Because there's so many things, that messages we get from our parents that tell us that we're weak, that we're like wimpy, and that, um, and they might have told us this either directly or indirectly. um, and these are, I'll tell you some of the phrases I've heard as a nanny from parents, like in 2022. I've heard parents say to their kids, he's being a suck, or you're being a suck. Um, you're being silly. You look ridiculous. Um, he's being dramatic. You're overreacting. You got to be more resilient than that. Um, you're a whiner. Um, I've heard so many of these kind of put downs, these kind of shaming, like a child who's in emotional pain, like suffering, like feeling like, um, maybe sadness or anger or fear, and their parents are now, so not only is the child left alone in their suffering, but now on top of that, they're being shamed and told that there's somehow, there's something wrong with them for having feelings. And of course, the child is going to internalize that and think, you know, think think feelings or think things like, what's wrong with me? I must be failing. I must be a loser. Um, I'm incapable. I don't have what it takes to make it in the world. Like I might be, maybe I'm despicable. I'm pathetic. I'm, all these kind of, or just I'm a shameful, worthless, human being. So we get these messages, not, and these aren't true. It's so important to understand that these aren't true, and to shame your parents, like shame on them for saying those things to you. Shame on them for abandoning you time and time again, probably hundreds and like, thousands and thousands of times. There are 365 days in a year. And, when I've seen, again, as a nanny, and this is something that I've seen happening daily in homes, like not once in a while, but, the narcissist is constantly like, putting down the child because they can't do something right. A child is sweeping the floor and they're like, that's not how you do it. Why? Like he's two, or like just saying, what's wrong with you? No, narcissists are, and they're just, of course, they're doing it unconsciously. They're doing it because they don't want to look at their own pain, because they feel weak and they feel, what was I say? Completely inadequate. And so they just dump that on their child. I mean, it's getting more and more clear to me. And it's important for me to voice this, to come out of denial, because the denial sometimes just seeps back in. And then the shame that it's me and that, I'm innately like, just this like sort of subhuman that, and then what happens too is I noticed this year just like so intense, crazy, painful flashbacks. But I've been attracting jobs that reflect back to me that I'm incapable, or I can't handle it, or it's too much for me. I'm not resilient enough. I'm not strong enough. All these kind of beliefs that I had because my narcissistic parents basically told me that. So it is so important to like shove that shit back to your parents, and even imagine a conversation. Like if you can imagine yourself, going into your home as a child and being with your inner child and speak back to your parent, what would you say in that situation? You got tears streaming down your face and you're crying and you're struggling, and your parent says something to you like, calm down, you're being silly. What would you say back to that parent? I would say, fuck you, fuck you, yeah, like that's the way you can find your find your power, and use your anger to discover that power. And you don't want to stay in that anger place. You definitely want to come back to your center and to or just like give it back to them. If they say you're being unreasonable, like just imagine you're saying you're being unreasonable. You're thinking a 2-year-old is going to be capable of getting out the door in 10 minutes. You're the one being unreasonable, so like just turn it back on them and get feel that voice, feel that power. Because the denial and the self-blame, because we have blamed ourselves thinking that this was, we were these weak, incapable, pathetic kind of people, and that so we deserved that abuse, that was just something that that of course we would attract that, or of course that we would get that because You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just talking like from the top of my head today. Because all these things were coming to me and I really wanted to share them with you. Um, just know that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are very resilient. You are gifted. In fact, yeah, you are a gifted person. You're incredibly intelligent, incredibly aware. You have high emotional intelligence. Um, you know, you think and feel deeply. You're extremely capable and competent. Um, and you're a loving, empathetic, very compassionate person. You're a good person. And yeah, I think it's important that we remind ourselves of these things, especially if you're in a flashback, to know that, again, that flashback, those feelings are real. And, we need to feel them to get unidentified with them, but they're not true, right? So I think that's everything I kind of wanted to say. And yeah, as we feel these feelings, I do believe that we start attracting better situations, because for me anyway, it's definitely getting worse before it's getting better. I mean, but I call them sandpapery gifts from God. They are, they seem hellish when you're going through it. And it seems really real that, it's going to be doom and gloom and you're going to die. It really feels sometimes like, I know I feel it anyway. Sometimes I really think that I'm going to die or I'm going to be homeless. It's important to know these are not true, and that you can get through these flashbacks. And, it's so important to get grounded in your body, because that will carry you through. I hope this was helpful for you in some way today. Not even sure what I'm going to call this video yet, but I'm wishing you many, many blessings on your journey of healing and awakening. And I am Davina at Boldness Blooming. Thanks for watching.